morning. He's not a simple man. Or is he?
No.
Christian Maher joins us this morning from the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation. Morning, Christian. How are you?
I mean, some people will say I'm a simple man. Not in a derogatory way. Oh, you know him. He's not that bright.
Oh, he's extremely bright.
Flamboyant and bright are two different things, yeah.
Oh, okay, flamboyant and bright. Let's separate those.
No boots today?
No. Yeah. From the boot box, though.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's not quite boot season. It's just, fall weather.
Oh, come on. I think you've been...
I mean, yeah, true. It's pretty much all year round.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
He's got a nice collection, Corey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine. All from the boot box?
Most of them, yeah. Well, as we were talking earlier, I'm a big fan of shopping local.
Yeah, me too.
I really feel like, the less you have to do with your national chains, the better.
Yep.
And I have a lot of friends who own businesses throughout the county, and I would like to see them thrive and survive. So,
Since I've been here, I do this. I try to do the same thing. I've gotten to know a lot of business owners, and their products are unbelievable. Well, why go anywhere else?
And they've got a great story.
Yeah,
and they got a great story. Yeah. Absolutely.
And like in the boot boxes case, I mean, the prices are more competitive than most any place else. So
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and twice a year they have a sale, and I go a little crazy. So I have 4 pairs of cowboy boots right now.
Okay, all right, 4. Yeah.
So
they like it when you come into the boot box.
Well, I mean, I'm getting clearance bargains sometimes, but still, it's not so bad.
Well, yeah. It doesn't help, though. You start singing the jingle when you walk in every time. Come on into the boot box.
I mean, I think you live here. You got to know it.
Yeah. Well, you also should know about the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation.
Yes. You should, yeah. And, oh, my God, have we been busy. Wrapping up Crawford Gives, I was complaining about being an accountant.
Yes.
Trying to make sure that each of the 147 organizations that participated
147. Wow.
Got every penny that they were given, in addition, and the additional match money. So yesterday I wrote out 86 of the checks.
Wow.
And today I'll finish the rest of that process. Getting all of that into our new accounting system has been a challenge. And on top of that, Dr. Ken Challoner from the medical center created a scholarship in the name of Leanne Leach, who was a nurse at Meadville Medical Center and a nursing professor at Edinburgh, who passed away tragically a couple months ago. And so we've been working on that. Members of the family, members of Meadville Medical Center, friends from Edinburgh University and beyond have given to that scholarship. It's money that we're going to use to help educate the next generation of nurses, those going into RN programs. And this is, I mean, you probably know this as you talk to a lot of folks from Meadville Medical Center and Titusville Hospital and other healthcare facilities. We've got a real shortage of registered nurses, and nurses, everything in healthcare is a shortage right now. All those folks are overtaxed, and we really have to, as a country, invest in the next generation.
Yeah.
So this is a way that we're going to be able to do that, and a lot of very generous people have come forward to help with that. So I'm excited to see how that will play out in the future, because this year we already have a Runkle nursing scholarship, and it's pretty small. It's only like about $300. And I think we got 10 or 12 applications for that, and it's terrible when you're looking at all those applications and you're like, okay, we got to pick like one kid out of all that.
Yeah, that would be tough.
And granted, often we have other sources of money. So maybe a kid who applied for a nursing scholarship will also get a scholarship because they go to Titusville High School or they go to Conneaut Valley or something like that. So we do tend to give students a little more sometimes, but money specifically for that. And that can be a student who isn't necessarily just a graduating high school senior. It can be somebody who's already in school. So that I think will be a really nice scholarship. Sometimes I do try and steer people away from scholarships sometimes, depending on what they have in mind, what's going on, because the cost of college is ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
So in this case, though, it's going to be a really great one. I think it will be very helpful to the student who receives it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back. I know we talk a lot about Crawford Gives, and there's a lot that goes on with that. But, here, again, the sort of the heartbeat of the foundation is, working with people to develop these types of things.
Right. Yeah, because, I got a call from somebody last night who's like, I've got a life insurance policy that I want to give, and I want to do X, Y, and Z with it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's really exciting. And it's especially exciting when somebody that we know and we've built a relationship with over the years calls just out of the blue, because it's the time that they're like, oh, my wife and I have been talking about this for 6 months, 8 months, 12 years, something like that.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, now's my time. I got to give Christian a call and get this rolling. And it's always nice when those things are kind of planned ahead, so you can lay the groundwork, you can get everything done, so it's not just a fire drill because there's something going on in somebody's life, which also happens and is okay, but it's always better when we can be a little more deliberate about it. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, Christian, and it's been a while since we've talked about this, sometimes that conversation with you kind of spurs some other things, like, oh, yeah, I need to make sure my will is up to date, or that I have a will. I need to make sure I have this in place and this in place.
Right. And so that's something that we're really, that we're going to be really working on in the next few months as well. We're working with our friends at Active Aging and the YMCA of Meadville. We're putting on an event to talk to some folks, get them talking about planning. And we're working really throughout the year with the attorneys in our area. We've got a core group of them who do this kind of work, with whom we're in contact, that we're referring to them, they're referring to us. So when sometimes someone comes to us because of a referral from an attorney, and so they have already gotten all the information they need about what's going on. Sometimes they start with us, and we're telling them, okay, well, these are the kind of things you're going to need. Here's the language that you're going to need to include in your will, and these are the attorneys that we work with already that we like, and please choose any one of them from the list, because they're all fantastic.
Yes.
And then they go to the attorney, and we ask, if they do work with the attorney, that they then reach back out to us to make sure that what actually goes into the will is what we think is going to accomplish their goal. Because every once in a while something slips through that is not quite right, and so it's a cooperative, and luckily we have attorneys, accountants, financial advisors in this community who are really collaborative.
Yes,
they want to work with us. They know that very often we're the right choice for their clients, and if we get in a situation where we recognize that we're not the right choice, we'll refer them to another outlet for whatever it is they're going to do. So,
there's also, and I'm sure you get people that come up to you and say, hey, I'd like to do this. And you kind of go, well, we have that, here's the direction we can go.
Yeah.
But I know it's also exciting when somebody calls you up, like you were saying, like last night, it's like, oh my gosh, that's still out there, right?
Yeah.
Like every day can be different for you.
Well, and that's it. Like if with my level of ADHD, if every day in this job were the same, I complain about the days when I have to be an accountant, but a little bit of that is fine. A little bit of that is enjoyable, finding, where every dollar goes.
Sure.
But if every day were the same, I would be so bored. And so the fact that, like, Last week I had a discussion with someone about a new fund that's for conservation programs, agriculture programs, environmental programs. That's exciting, like, because we don't necessarily have a funding stream already solely for those kinds of things. And to have something new, I'm like, we can work with Ducks Unlimited. We can work with the Crawford County Conservation District. We can work with the French Creek Valley Conservancy. We can work with the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy. We can work in collaboration with all of those if we just had that piece of funding, which now, thanks to the Stainbrook family, we're going to have. I'll have a real announcement about that soon because I haven't worked up how much money is actually going to be available. But we've done really great programs in conservation already with Ducks Unlimited, with the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, with the French Creek Valley Conservancy, and that was with just our existing streams of funding. And then those organizations have used that to leverage other funding from state and federal sources. And so just having like an additional place to draw from is pretty exciting for me. And I think is really good for our community because like I don't know if you know anything about wetlands replacement.
No.
That's Corey's background, actually.
Yeah, actually, that's my background. Yeah,
something I had never known about before until we got a grant application that Ducks Unlimited was like, hey, we're doing this project in Lionsville. And you don't realize, at least I didn't, the value of wetlands replacements. You take farmland. For years, we were taking farmland,
Okay.
or we're taking wetlands and turning them into farmland.
Gotcha.
Which apparently is a really bad idea.
It's like Monty Python,
Yeah.
First castle we built in a swamp and it fell over.
Right.
But the fourth one stayed up.
It's just a flesh wound, right?
It's just a flesh wound.
That's like a whole great scene.
So then they turned farmland back into wetlands, which is really important for wildlife and all sorts of things. And so these things that you never knew were important until you kind of like go out and you tour and you learn about the value to the hunters, the value to the environment, the bird populations, all these things,
the ecosystem.
Yeah, all interdependent web of the environment that I don't think about on the daily because I don't work in that realm.
Yeah, but hold on to that thought real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel and listening to it on the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. What's cool about that is, though, when somebody's telling you this, like, here's what I'm thinking, they don't necessarily know about all those things.
Right.
Where you're, like, very excited, like you are here. It's like, oh, look, we can do this. And
Exactly.
I think for the person that's going to give you money, I think for them, that's got to be relief. Like, I know this is going to be in good hands.
Well, I think that's what happens a lot is we have donors who are like, and in this case, it's the family of Wayne and Jesse Stainbrook. Jesse just passed away not long ago, and so they knew they wanted to do something. They wanted to do something that was going to honor their parents, and their parents were in agriculture. They were passionate about the environment. Wayne, the dad, used to do education programs for other farmers and about best practices and all these things. And so these are core values of the family that they wanted to see continue into the future. And I think that's really what's exciting about this job is it's money that is given, but what we are using that money for is to express our donors' values, their families' values, and really express them, hundreds of years into the future, hopefully, and make a difference here. So that's what's fun about it. They come to us and they're like, are there really enough programs that if we gave this money, like, that there's stuff to do? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, these are just the things that we've done. Like, these are all the things that we've had to turn down because we didn't have money for this kind of thing, or we didn't have enough to do something. So it's good. I mean, that's why I keep talking about how I need to clone myself, or I need to find I need to find a little mini me that we can kind of train to do some of this stuff, to learn about what's going on, to kind of talk with our donors, because there's just so much going on at the foundation, and there's too much for us to keep up with. I mean, just looking at Crawford Gives and all of the animal rescues that are involved, We've got Saving Shepherds Rescue, that's German Shepherd Rescue. We've got Canine Partners. We have Slurp over here, Because You Care in Edinburgh, and Crawford County Humane Society, and a shelter comes down from Erie and does work. Like, there's just so much to keep track of that my brain certainly can't contain it. So as we grow, having somebody else to help with some of that will be.
Well, I think the other thing that's pretty cool, and by the way, if you're interested, you can contact Christian at the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation, and he'll give you the contact information in just a little bit. But, to think 20, 30 years from now, there's going to be a program that's going to still be funded based off of something done now. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, and it's money that's invested permanently. It's money that's going to keep up with inflation, which we've seen a lot this year.
We have.
And so, I don't know about you, but my gas tank is taking a little bit more to fill up.
Yeah, it is.
My groceries cost a little more. So.
Yep.
Well, not only that, but they're putting less in the packaging. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, that's the worst thing.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
So all this money that we're given, we're supposed to be really good stewards of that, and I think our history shows that we have been, and our donors can trust that, if they're creating a permanent endowment with us, that money's going to be there for the long term. We've had 2 recessions in our existence. We've gotten through both of them with flying colors, that we've actually grown the money that was given. We're probably going to have another one next couple of years. We've had a really good market for a really long time, but these things go up and down. And so, we've done all the things we need to kind of weather these storms, and we feel like we're pretty well positioned.
Well, congratulations. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and like I said, if there's somebody out there that thinks, boy, that sounds like a great opportunity, call Christian, work alongside him, and be a part of something that really impacts our community, our region. I do want to mention before we wrap things up, your winter round of grant making.
Oh, yeah. We are going to have money to give out to organizations here in February, but you have to apply before December.
Gotcha.
That's coming up.
Yeah, it is. It's coming up real fast.
Yeah, but everybody will do it at last minute anyway, so I'll talk more about it next month.
Okay. Next month, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, man.
Ooh.
Gosh.
I know.
How's that possible?
The year has flown by.
Oh, we stated that like a number of times. This year is the fastest year I've ever seen.
Yeah. Wait until you're pushing 50, kid.
He's almost there.
Yeah.
But again, that's another, reminder that you never know what's going to happen day to day. Things are going by so quickly.
Yeah.
It may be something that you're not thinking about at the moment because you're thinking, I'm going to be around. You don't know.
Yeah.
So, plan. It doesn't hurt, Christian, either to call you up, sit down with you over lunch or coffee or whatever it is, and at least start having those conversations. Here's what I'm thinking. What guidance do you have for me?
Well, even if you're not doing that, our friend Ty Cressman is got a program coming up next month about just the basics of getting planned. So, if you're looking for just to start to think about it, check him out and check out what's going on there.
Okay. Well, if folks want to check out Crawford Heritage Community Foundation, everything that you guys offer, maybe they're interested in the position that's available.
Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you? What's the best way to reach you?
CrawfordHeritage.org is the website, and people can always give me a call at 814-499-1852.
And whether it's just a conversation over the phone, coffee, lunch, you'll do it all.
Now that all this stuff, now that I'm done being an accountant for a while, I'm pretty flexible.
Oh, nice.
You get through today, right?
Yeah.
All right. So call Christian and sit
It's
down
a
with
good time
him.
to call.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the grants that'll be available, they have to be in by December 15th.
And you can call Amanda in our office and get information about that.
Okay. And over the years, that's been some fun stuff to go through, right? What people are asking for, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, don't be afraid, right, to get something submitted
and to ask about it, yeah.
All right. Well, Christian, good to see you this morning.
Nice to see you, too.
All the best. Did you get your beer of the month?
No, I kind of backed. Well, I did do 6. I did do 6 pumpkin beers this year. This past month. So we'll have to find another.
Do you
6.
rank them in your head?
Oh yeah, there's an app for that.
Of course there is. Thanks, Christian. Good to see you.
Thanks, Chris.